Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be comparing three of the most popular VPNs out there: ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and Surfshark. Now, the basic rundown between these three is that ExpressVPN is the simplest and easy to use, and it's also the most focused on just being the best VPN possible. NordVPN, on the other hand, has the total opposite way of going about things. They're focused on giving you as many features and add-ons, all sorts of different options within their VPN, although what comes out is that it isn't really the best at any one. It's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none application. And lastly, Surfshark is basically a toned down, cheaper version of NordVPN. I would basically call it NordVPN Lite. It's for somebody who wants what NordVPN offers but doesn't want to pay the more expensive price of NordVPN. Now, as usual, there will be a ton more information about each of these in the description below, but let's get started with ExpressVPN. So out of all the three options here, this is the only one that I would call a dedicated VPN. It's a VPN and basically nothing else, and it's really good at what it does. With Express, you have 105 countries to choose from, but within many of these countries, you're going to have multiple servers. So for example, within the USA, you have at least one location to connect to in every single state, and in many of the bigger states like California, you have multiple servers that you can connect to. Now, on top of that, it's also super fast. They use something called the Lightweight UDP protocol. This is something they built themselves. You're not going to find it anywhere else, and it offers some of the fastest speeds of any VPN out there, and they even have Lightweight Turbo to boost it even faster. Now, you also have some of the basic features you would expect from any VPN, an ad and tracker blocker. You can also block malicious sites and adult sites. And in the general tab over here, you have the network lock. That's the kill switch, which disconnects your internet if the VPN ever stops working. So it makes sure that you're always connected to the internet together with the VPN, and split tunneling, which allows you to choose exactly which applications go through the VPN connection. So you don't need to have everything that you're doing on the internet going through the VPN. Now, those features are pretty standard and you'll find them in all three of these VPNs, but where Express really shines is how simple it is. You don't really need to be very tech savvy to get started with it. All you have to do is just pick a location and click connect. That's really all there is to it. With that, you can get access to content from all over the world. So if there's a show on Netflix or a different streaming site that you've always wanted to watch, but it's only available in a different country, all you have to do is connect up to that country, go over to Netflix or whichever streaming provider it is, refresh the page, and you'll be able to access that content. The connections are fast and stable. They're not going to drop out, and ExpressVPN also is one of, if not the most secure VPNs out there. They've done more independent security audits than pretty much any other VPN. What that means is that they've had an outside company come in and check out their VPN and ensure that they really are keeping their user data safe. They're not giving it over to any governments or internet service providers. Because they use RAM-only servers, even ExpressVPN themselves do not have access to your personal data. Now, in terms of price, ExpressVPN, in their cheapest plan, the basic 2-year plan, comes in at $2 and just about 80 cents per month. And if you use the link in the description, you'll get an extra 4 months for free on top of that. Now, that isn't the most expensive VPN here. NordVPN, starting at $3 per month, is actually the most expensive VPN here. But with that, you do get some more features. So let's go into NordVPN over here. This application is a lot more busy. There's a lot more going on. The VPN itself is actually right here. This part on the left side, you're going to have more countries than Express, 120 plus. You also have specialty servers for things like P2P, so file sharing. These are going to be optimized for things like torrenting, Onion over VPN for connecting to the Onion network, obfuscated servers, which work to hide the fact that you're even using a VPN, double VPN, which connects you up to 2 different VPN servers before getting you over to the internet, and dedicated IP, which is an add-on you actually have to pay a little bit more for, and it will give you your own unique IP address. So that's the VPN. And then over here on the right side, we have some add-ons. So Threat Protection Pro is a mini antivirus. You can see more about it here. You get anti-malware, browsing protection, and an ad and tracker blocker. They also have some more add-ons like the option for secure file transfers and just generally more more secure linking between your own personal devices, dark web monitor to keep track and see if any of your personal information is leaked out over the internet, and in some plans, you'll also get secure cloud storage. So NordVPN does a bunch of different things. It's not just a VPN. I wouldn't say that its VPN is as good as ExpressVPN's. I haven't found it to be as fast or the connections to be as stable. And in terms of something like Threat Protection Pro, it's definitely not as good as a dedicated antivirus. That being said, if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to have a separate VPN and antivirus software, you just want to pay a little bit more money and get both in one, NordVPN might be a great option for you. Now, last up, we have Surfshark. So this VPN right here is going to be the cheapest of the three. It starts at just $2 per month. So it's really cheap. And what you're getting for that price is honestly not that bad. You're going to get 100 locations to choose from, and you get very similar features to NordVPN, though not as extensive. So you have a multi-hop, which also connects you up to 2 different servers. You have static IP, giving you the same IP address every single time you connect, and dedicated IP, which again is an add-on, but will give you a unique IP address. So very similar here to NordVPN. They also have their version of an antivirus, which personally I like a lot. I actually find this to be a very solid antivirus. And they have an alert feature very similar to what we saw in NordVPN, which checks to see if any of your information leaked out over the internet. Now, with everything other than maybe their antivirus, you're not going to get as much as you would with NordVPN. And again, you're also not going to get those speeds like you would with ExpressVPN. But if you're looking for an affordable, high quality VPN, then Surfshark is what I would definitely recommend. So that's the basic roundup of all three of these. Of course, there's a lot more to cover and go into. Like I said, full in-depth reviews for each of these going into all the details in the description, and you'll also find discount links there that will get you the best possible price and save you money on each of these. That's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'm always looking to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.